So with the help of our little friends, we're going to bring the scene alive with, yep, you guessed it, the Smurf Village. Over here, we're going to make a kids climbing platform, which will have a lower level and a higher level. I'll just mark out the lower one. And over here, underneath this trunk, I'm going to be making a Smurf cubby. Now, this isn't going to be any ordinary cubby. It's going to be out of this world. First off, I'm building the climbing platform. I'm just digging some holes, and you just want to make sure when you're working so close to a tree that you pick a spot in between the roots. That way you don't damage them. Now we're ready for the posts. Instead of concreting these posts in, I've decided to sit them on a sole plate. That way we're not putting any concrete around this existing tree, so there's no chance of damaging it. Once these posts are in place, we can attach the bearer. Now we just need to knock up the lower platform for our climbing frame. Let's hope it fits. Okay, we're ready to start laying our decking boards. Now, usually we lay them at right angles to our joists, which means that our end grain only overhangs on 2 perimeters. But in this case, I want our end grain to go all around the edge. That way I can cut an organic shape. So I'm going to be laying them on a 45-degree angle, and that makes for a pretty cool feature as well. All right, we've got the boards down and the boys have marked out their shape. So I'm just going to use a jigsaw to cut it out. You want to make sure that your boards overhang the frame by around 100 mil. To make our climbing platform even more interesting, I'm putting in an upper deck. And to join them together, I'm just making a simple step ladder out of 90x45 treated pine. And out of the 2 sides, you'll notice that I've just checked out the timber. That way it houses into the top deck and fixes in place nicely. All right, now our frame's secure in place, I can get on to putting the deck up here as well. This is going to be great. The kids are going to absolutely love it. As you can see on the ladders, I've just left the 2 sides nice and long so the kids have something to grab onto as they get up on this top deck. To create some access to our platforms, we're putting in a suspension bridge. I'm going to be concreting these posts in, which will make it nice and sturdy, and we won't be damaging the roots. And the final piece to this jigsaw is this frame, which will allow us to attach a slide later on. Now, this climbing platform's all together, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to give it a coat of paint. And in the Smurf Village, there's only one colour it can be. The blue's looking great, Jace. All right, now we're on to making the main frame for our cubby. And to start, we need a stalk for the toadstool. So that means bending some ply that will go into these slots. Now, obviously, if you've got timber that's 45 mil thick, you can't use this method of bending. But basically, we're using 3 mil ply, and as you can see, it just goes into the channels. And I'm going to glue and build it up as we go. For this project, I'm using 3 sheets, but you can keep on going till you get the thickness that you desire. Now, you don't have to be making a cubby house to use this method of bending. You might want to make a unique bit of furniture, like a coffee table. To get the shape you want, you can change it by adding these timbers on the side and one across the top, and that allows us to push down and clamp it in place. Also, the opening size, I've made it smaller than what we want. That way, when we take it out of our template, it will spring into shape. Here comes the bottom half of a toadstool. Yeah! Now, the shell of the cubby's in place, so I can get on to making the roof. Now, it's not a conventional roof as such because it is going to be open. Basically, I'm making 5 vertical panels that are going to be shaped like the top of a toadstool. And they're progressively going to get smaller as I work my way to the front. All right, boys, let's get this capped off. So hopefully at the end, it's going to give the look of a 3-dimensional roof. All right, Scotty. Beautiful. That's what I call a cubby with a difference.
Well, we've got the plants, we've got the space.
So I thought we'd create a bit of a forest of our own, right over here. And I tell you what, I'm not a gardener, but I think we're doing a pretty good job. Things are getting a bit crazy around here. All that's left to do is mulch. How good is this adventure playground? It's amazing what you can achieve in your backyard, and you're only limited to your imagination.